Dear students, it is the third video for week 7 and we are learning official correspondence. Dear students, in the video second, we learned about the different official letters, business letters, which are utilized for the various purposes. Dear students, in this video, I'll try to give you some practical tips for the effective business letters. Clear that what should we do and what shouldn't be. Clear? So let's start with the first, cover letters. Clear? What is cover letter and what are their types and need? It has already been expressed. So come to the tip. Tips: do not try to fit your whole career in your cover letter. It should have a carefully curated collection of stories. In your cover letters, do not mention every development, every uh, segment in detail. For example, you have worked in 4 different organizations, so you don't need to explain your role and type and assignments. Clear? It should be very selective information which is important for the current vacancy you have applied. Fine, this is what the subject matter is. Do not state a skill that you don't actually have. In your cover letter, never make the bogus or unreal things. For example, usually it is a practice in our country that people ask, okay, include the skill, include and mention the skill. This is not a good habit because they have all your record. You will definitely regret it when you are asked to use that skill in the interview. Fine. When the interview, they would definitely ask you to use, or they can ask question regarding that skill. So do not mention it. Keep it concise and to the point. The employer doesn't have time to sit down and read an entire memoir. Clear? Do not write long and extended explanations. Simply to the point. He just wants to have information about your credentials and achievements and career so that he may identify you as a potential candidate. Next, here it is the example of the cover letter for letter which is written. Date, fine, Joseph Rayan, fine, and you find it here that it is the first. Here he has explained the reason of writing. The management trainee position you advertised in today's Hamlet Gazette greatly interests me. The rest easy hotels have always served as the landmarks for me when I travel, and I would like to contribute to their continued growth. I have enclosed my resume for your review. Fine. It is a kind of the cover letter or the application letter, and this is where you have to mention very precisely. This discussion has already been in detail. Business invites. Clear? Business invites, the letters to invite someone to build relations and start business or to become partners. Write the letter in such a way that it builds anticipation about the event. Clearly mention the date, time, and venue. Set a friendly follow-up to remind them of the event. For example, you are inviting him to participate in some event, okay, seminar or exhibition. Fine. Next, this is an example. Move next, complaint letters. Fine. Tips: do not get too emotional or over the top angry. Never show or express the anger or your uh, means emotions at high. Just state the facts. Be cordial and professional. Cordial mean friendly and professional. Let them know the entire story and how would you like them to rectify their mistakes. I mean, tell them the entire, give them the complete picture of what has happened to you and how their mistake or how their ignorance has called you to write it. Fine. This is what the complaint letter's main point. Next, letter of resignation. It is not a mean something, but sometimes we have to keep it simple, stick to the facts, and do not start complaining. Resignation letters are not the right place for complaints and critique. Thank your boss or the company for the opportunities and describe some of the key things you learned on the job. If you are in high profile position, consider your words super carefully because your letter would likely to be made public. Fine, they are the tips that we should not complain. We should appreciate where we have been working, and especially in the top position, that is more possible they would use as a public document. Order letters. Be concise and clear to avoid any misunderstanding or confusion. I mean, state the fact, demand, need, the type, style of the things properly. Include everything the seller would need to deliver the order and get the payment. Provide contact information for future conversation or follow up. Fine. Concise, clear, everything that you want to have or deliver, and contact number for the further conversation or future conversation. Students, letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendation means when you write a letter, for example, to recommend someone and suggest others and give your opinion about that person is called letter of recommendation. Normally students come to us and ask, sir, we have applied for a university for MS or other programs, so please write for us some recommendation letter. Fine, it's a very common demand when you apply abroad. They ask you to take recommendation letter from the previous organization or the school, college, or university. And what important points we should learn. Be honest and don't agree to write a letter to someone you don't know. I mean, be honest and do not write a letter to someone for someone you are not aware of, for whom you have never met, who has not been your colleague. You do not understand his positive traits of the personality and the negative traits of the personality. Use specific examples to highlight the person's strengths, skills, and abilities. What examples? Examples from his professional career means that during the stay as a colleague, as a subordinate, whatever he has contributed to the organization, how he has managed some haphazard situation. Clear? They are the examples by which you convince the other person. Include why you believe the candidate would excel in the role, and also give the suggestion or also give some reasons that how that person whom you are recommending would be a good asset or good person for them in the future, in what situation they can more likely to award him a role or assign the assignments. Many times people overlook the importance of writing persuasive business letters because the concept doesn't interest them, as a result of which people do not know how to write a business letter. This is a general tip that people often ignore the examples, directions clear, and that's how they fail to achieve a position. Well, dear students, here we are ended up with writing the business letters, and I have also shared some of